Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 13, Episode 4 of the Timeline. August 14th, 2025. My free day, or I take it as it is. I'm usually writing 5 days out of the week, working on the episode for the podcast, spending time writing the screenplay about the story, and also working on my second book. Madison said to me, "Mom, you need to slow down. You get one day to do nothing, and you're right back at writing and the recording. And I know it takes a lot out of you, especially afterward." And I thought, I know she's right, but I can't stop. I'd feel guilty if I did, and I have nothing to feel guilty about, except not listening to my daughter and my friend at the beginning of this. In the morning, I was awakened at 3 o'clock a.m., and I did not do as my premonition was telling me to do. I remember at that time thinking, I will go in the morning, and went back to sleep. I regret that now, not going. As my day moves on, I write in the screenplay. I enjoyed time outside and enjoyed the day at home. August 15th, 2025. I thank God. I ask Him for strength. I start my day. When I finished cleaning, I went to the cemetery. At 2:17 p.m., I pull up to Megan's area. Her flowers are here. The picture is taken from the north side of the tree, and in the second picture, it's taken from the south side of the tree. There are headstones to the south, the headstones which should sit north of the tree. In the third picture, it's of the southeast headstone, the rock headstone, it's not seen, then on to the west to other headstones and the Mother Mary statue. I pull around to the east side to visit Wyatt. When I finish, I leave the cemetery. After stopping at a store, I went home to start writing for an episode. While writing, my sister Susie calls. I talk with her, and while talking to her, she tells me again, if you need to take a break, take one, okay? I'm quiet for a few seconds, and I said, "Oh, I know, and if I feel I need to, I will." Susie said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, and I will." When we finished talking, we say good night, and I went to bed. August 16th, 2025. My phone rings first thing this morning. I'm going to pick Madison up to go to the country to help clean our friend's house. When we arrive, I start in the kitchen doing the dishes, sweeping, and mopping the floor. Madison folds laundry and vacuums the living room and the bedrooms. I wipe up the bathroom, and he wants to go for a ride. So we did. A little while later, we stopped for lunch, and then we head back to his house. When we get there, Madison and I go in for a little bit, and then we leave to go home. When I get home, I relax. I sit with no TV on, no sound in the background, and I sit thinking. And the longer I sat, the more I thought. I can't write no more right now. And I went to bed. August 17th, 2025. Thank you, God. In my mind, I'm thinking, I need to write and finish the episode for this Wednesday. And the more I thought about it, the more I just couldn't. I stepped away. I kept my mind busy to not think about any of it. And then later this evening, I sit down, I picked up the pen and I start to write. And my mind went blank. This time, I start to cry. I set my face in the palm of my hands, leaned over the countertop, and I cry. My phone rings. I wipe my face. I answer the phone. It's my nephew, Bobby. And after we talked for a while, I'm thankful he called. And I knew then I am not to write today. August 18th, 2025. Another day. Another day emotional. I keep thinking I need to get the episode written, and I keep thinking this is Monday. I have to write today to be able to record tomorrow. Later this evening, I talk with my sister Susie. I tell her I'm having a problem. Susie asked, "What's wrong?" I said, "I hope it's nothing. Maybe it's just I'm exhausted. But I tried writing this episode and I did not get it. And if I don't get it today, I will be pushed to the edge trying to finish the writing and trying to record." Susie said, "Take a break. I can hear it in your voice. You are tired. You're exhausted." I said, "I might have to," in a quiet voice. Susie said, "Just take one for a week or two, and we will figure something else out." I said, "I can't stop. I can't do that to Megan or any of them. Maybe just a week or two." She said, "All right, keep me informed of what you decide to do." I said, "I will, and I know already I will not get the writing done tonight. And I'm already feeling my anxiety level is high. And I knew I will not get the episode recorded for tomorrow." I start to cry and I tell Susie, "I pray I can get this done." Susie said, "You will, and for any reason you don't or you can't, I will finish this for you, because it does need to be known of. They made their choices. You only tell the story of what happened, and I know you're telling the truth because you have told the same story from the beginning. And when someone asks about a certain area of this, you tell the same story." I said, "Well, yeah, it's the truth." Susie said, "I know it is. I've read the timeline and I've looked at the pictures. I see it, and I know it's the truth. And someone else will see it too. Soon, sis." I said, "I hope so." I said, "This is my granddaughter." Susie interrupted and said, "I would do the same thing. Anybody would." I'm quiet. Susie and I then talked a little longer, and I tell her to have a good night. Susie said, "Sis, we will get this done. We will." I said, "Oh, I know. Love you. Good night," and we hung up. The next morning, August 19th, 2025, I thank God for opening my eyes. I'm waking up with a heavy heart, but I'm grateful I'm awake. I start my day trying to stay positive about everything. It's Tuesday, and I should have an episode written, but I don't. And I also should have a recording ready today, but I'm not doing that either. This morning, waking up, after praying to God and talking to Megan before I fell asleep last night, I knew when I woke up, I'm going to leave it in God's hands. If it's meant for me to write, if it's meant for me to record, if it's meant for me to go to the cemetery, and if it's meant for me to leave the house, I will do so. So today I'm going to relax, calm my mind, and oh my gosh, my body, and take a break from the writing and the recordings for a week or two. So to skip ahead from August 20th, 2025 and August 27th, 2025, there will be no episode aired. But on September 3rd, 2025, the episode will air again. But between August 20th and this date, September 3rd, 2025, on August 22nd, 2025, I did visit the cemetery. At 2:53 p.m., I pull up to Wyatt's area. I take 2 pictures, and then a short time later, I pull around to visit Megan. In the first 2 pictures is a full view of Babyland 6th West. Megan's flowers are here. And in picture 3 is of the southeast headstone, and on west to the headstone and to the Mother Mary statue. The rock headstone is not seen. In the 4th picture, it's a close-up picture of Megan's area west of the tree. It's showing a portion of the blue and white Babyland 6th West sign. It shows the tree, Megan's flowers west of the tree, and there are a few headstones showing to the north and a few to the south. In the 5th picture, it shows headstones south of Megan's flowers placed and stuck in the ground west of the tree, her resting place, and to the south where it was an open area. But now you see headstones south of Megan, headstones that should sit north of Megan's flowers that are stuck in the ground west of the tree. In the next picture, I'm standing close to the street, and I take the picture facing south. A picture of headstones and the men working in the fenced-in area west of the cemetery. In the 7th picture is of the same area. And the 8th picture shows a closer look at the headstones facing south. In the 9th picture, it's of the south of the electrical pole to the newly set in headstones set in the south side of the tree in Babyland 6th West. In the 10th picture, this picture shows from the electrical pole to the south of the tree. The showing in this picture is of a small portion of the branches. And yes, as I'm describing these pictures, I realize these pictures is like a short screen show to show pictures of each step of the area. Because in this picture now, it shows the full view area in a wide view. The 11th picture is of a small newly set in drain to the black and white Babyland sign, recently set in two since the drains being fixed, and then onto the double headstones, onto the blue and white Babyland 6th West sign, to the tree, and on to Megan's flowers sitting west of the tree, where we have always visited her at. Then on west to the headstones and to the newly set in headstone. This picture also shows headstones to the south and headstones to the north. In this 12th picture, it is taken from the north of the tree. It just shows south of the tree on north to where the north tree sat at one time. And in the last picture, it's of the same area, as picture 12, but showing more north of the area where the north tree sat. And of course, there's been a few drive-throughs while taking a break. I also visited the cemetery on August 28, 2025. And yesterday, being the 27th, I did not have an episode ready this week, neither, but I'm hoping I can get started again for next Wednesday. But on this day, August 28, 2025, I went to the cemetery. At 3:15 p.m., I pull up to Wyatt's area. I wait in the car because there are others here visiting someone in the same area. I did take a picture of Wyatt's area from the car. I visit with him from the car, and a short time later I went to visit Megan. Megan's flowers are here, and I am happy about that. They've mowed the grass but left them alone, and I thank you for that. This first picture is of Babyland 6th West, full view. Then in the next picture, it's a full view too, but south of the electrical pole to north of the tree. In the third picture is of the southeast headstone to just seeing the top of the rock headstone, and on west to headstones and the Mother Mary statue. The fourth picture is of Megan's area close up, and in the fifth picture it shows Megan's flowers to the south, to the heart headstones. There's two. One headstone has two hearts, and the other headstone has one heart. These headstones used to sit south of the north tree, as the pictures show. In the sixth picture, it's of the lineup from the newly set in drain to the west to the newly set in headstone, both set in 2019. And when I say newly set in, it was and is describing the area after the flood moved the headstones and the city fixed the drains. In the seventh picture, it shows the tree. It shows Megan's flowers west of the tree and on to the north area where the headstones sit now. But these headstones used to sit more north. To have the headstones sitting south of the tree now, they should sit north of the tree and sit between the two trees, the north tree and the south tree. As the older pictures show, the north tree no longer exists, but in the picture, early on pictures taken in early 2000s shows the two trees and what headstones sit between the two trees. I then sit to visit with Megan for a short time. I leave the cemetery, and on my way home, I'm thinking about all of it and where I am in life and why God brought this to me. And then I get this feeling in my heart, something or someone telling me to keep going. So on the ride home, I'm thinking, I may not finish the episode that I started writing weeks ago and couldn't finish tonight, but I will have an episode ready for the 3rd of September, Wednesday night at 8:00 p.m. September 1st, 2025. I finished writing the episode, and this is when we decided to do every other week, not once a week episodes, just for now. It's been too much on me, and at times I just can't. So for now, I'm going to do my best to get an episode written for every other week. And I thank you for being patient. September 2nd, 2025. I thank God. It's a day to record. Have a great day. September 3rd, 2025. I'm thankful for this day. I did get the episode recorded, and it's the first episode of every other week. And I pray this works out for all the listeners and for all of us. September 4th, 2025. Thank you, God. I don't call Thursday my free day now, but today Madison and I are going to the country to help our friend. We clean, I help him with his bills, and when we finished, Madison and I went home. After I dropped Madison off, I went home too. When getting here, I went outside to sit on the patio for a while. I haven't sat out here for some time, so this evening was a good time to do so. I haven't seen my black and white cat friend in some time either, but I have seen a couple different stray cats laying on my front porch, and that's okay. When I went inside, I sat down to watch TV for an hour or so, and then I went to bed. September 5th, 2025. After spending most of my morning and afternoon writing in the screenplay and putting paperwork in order, I went to the cemetery. At 5:56 p.m., I pull up to Wyatt's area. I walk over to visit with him and I take a few pictures. I took 2 pictures of his headstone and 2 pictures of a headstone that is sitting crooked on the ground. I say on the ground because in the picture, I cannot see a concrete slab underneath the headstone. I visit with Wyatt and I talk with him for a little longer, and I went to visit Megan. As I pull up to Babyland 6th West, I take a full view picture. Megan's flowers are still here, and I'm happy about that. In the second pictures of the southeast headstone, the headstone that used to sit southeast of the tree, the existing tree, and as pictures show, it's a headstone that did not line up with the rock headstone. The rock headstone lined up with the existing tree and Megan's headstone west of the rock headstone. As I've said, not lined up with the southeast headstone, as I call it, because of its location before 2015. Let's move on. Then on to the rock headstone, not seen in this picture, and on to headstones in the west and the Mother Mary statue. In the third picture, it's a close-up picture of Megan's area. What is seen is the blue and white Babyland 6th West sign, the tree west of the sign, as it has always stood. Megan's flowers are stuck in the ground at her resting place, and still is. The resting plot doesn't change because the headstones were moved by floodwater. They are out of place as not in the correct location, as seen in pictures. The fourth picture is a close-up of the southeast headstone. The rock headstone is seen, and on to headstones to the west. In the fifth picture, it is of Megan's area south of the tree, alongside the existing tree to Megan's flowers, and onto headstones in the west and to the south. The blue and white Babyland 6th West sign is partially shown in this picture. In the sixth picture, it is a close-up of the newly set-in headstone, the headstone set in west of Megan's area in 2019, dated 1992. And this next picture, it's of Megan's flowers close up. And in the 8th picture, it's of Megan's flowers facing south of the headstones, which are scattered in this area due to the floodwater. They are not, and I will repeat it over and over. These headstones are not in their correct location, as the pictures show. The 9th picture I took is a picture of the top view of the newly set in headstone that sits west of Megan's area, beginning in 2019. The 10th picture is of the headstone that is crooked on a slab of cement, and this headstone is one that also used to sit near the north tree, not the south tree, the existing tree. In the 11th picture, oh wow, looking at this picture of the newly set in drain to the newly set in headstone, the one I just spoke of, and look at the headstone south of this little area, so crammed in and close together and scattered in an area where the area was an open area until the floodwater moved the headstones in 2015 from the north of the tree to the south. What a mess. And of course, the next picture is of the north area of the tree. Headstones sit there now. They are out of location. Headstones now sit where the north tree was. Thank you for listening. Stay kind with your words.